the bigger that we grow, sometimes we simply get in people's way just because we got bigger without knowing it. And until we make ourselves aware of the fact that, hey, we are getting in people's way, we will continue to be a wall rather than a window. How simple is it to let the person by? You just turn to the side. You just turn this way. But sometimes we're so unaware because we're either on our cell phones or we're distracted by other things in life that we still just continue just walking on, and the person behind us is like, move! Of course, then they tell you to move. They say, hey, can you please move? And it's like, how dare you? How dare you? And sometimes this happens like when you grow and you've been a Christian for a long time, maybe even when you're a pastor like myself. You know, we had a lady come into my church the other day. She rolled into our church in her wheelchair. And this was during lunch, and I guess she rolled into the hallway and she plugged her automatic wheelchair into the plug, and she was charging it up. I came back from lunch, and one of my deacons came to me and said, hey, Victor, there's a strange lady in the hallway. I said, man, strange lady in the hallway. That's weird. So I went over there to the hallway, and I looked, and there she was! A lady in her automatic wheelchair plugged into the wall. You know what the first thought that came to my mind? How dare she? How dare she take the electricity from my church? This is my church. I'm the pastor here. How dare you? That was the first thought that came to my mind. Do you think that I would have thought that way 4 years ago before I became the pastor of the church and just walking in as a guest? Oh, that's a lady in a wheelchair. I wonder what she wants. But you see, something happened. This seed, this little seed that got thrown into my mind, but thank God that there was the love of Christ in my heart. And I was able to say, hey, Victor, in my mind, shut up. Victor, just shut up. You're being ridiculous. That's not your electricity. This ain't your house. This is God's house. And that's God's electricity. You said that came from Anaheim. Well, who made Anaheim? Right. So my heart moved. And I went up to her, and even though she looked different, she didn't know what she wanted. She actually said, I said, can I do something for you? She said, yes. You can actually go throw this trash away from me. As I took it, I said, man, this lady, are you kidding me? And another seed came in my heart. Are you kidding me? I am the pastor of this church. How dare she? How dare she ask me? She come into my house, use my electricity, and then she dare ask me to take her trash that she got from the street, and put it in the trash. But thank God for the love of God in your heart to take the trash, put it away. Man, what is it that you need? And you know what? All that she needed was for me to get out the way, for she could unplug her wheelchair, and for me just to direct her to where the nearest bus stop was, because she needed to catch the bus to actually go to a different church. And she thought that stopping in the church would be okay, because if her wheelchair would have stopped halfway, there would be no one to push her. So I walked her to the bus stop. Sometimes we can be a physical barrier for people, and we just need to move. Huh? That's the first barrier. The second barrier that we have is sometimes we can be a mental barrier. We have mental barriers that stop us from loving people, stop us from being windows of God's light to people. And these come in the form of ego, which is a psychological word, ego, and wavelength, physics, right? Physics. Who here loves physics? Nobody. That's good. Yes, sir. All right, I got to tell you, hated physics in high school. Loved it in college. Ego. My daughter is all ego. She's 10 months, right? It doesn't matter if I'm hungry. It doesn't matter if I need to go to the restroom. It doesn't matter if Dad's favorite TV show is on. It doesn't matter if I'm sleeping. When she wants something, you know what she does? Ah! That's all. I'm tired. You know, she doesn't see I've been lifting stuff all day. I get home, she does this. Doesn't she know I'm tired? When you're young, when you grow up, you're 1 or 2, it's all about yourself. Everything that you want, everything that you believe in, everything that you desire. The world revolves around you. Forget the sun. It's around you. And sometimes that doesn't change in people, even when they come to believe. Even when Jesus came here for the world, they think that the world is there for them. And so you end up having this pride. But what does the Bible say about pride? Read the next one from that. Psalms 138:6 says, though the Lord is on high, He looks upon the lowly, but the proud He knows from afar. Why is God afar? Because that pride, that ego, doesn't just separate you from your brothers and sisters, it also separates you from God and knowing His will. So it's not that God doesn't want to draw close to you. He wants to come close. He wants to reach out and touch you. But it's your pride that brings up this barrier, this mental barrier. I know more than God. It's all about me anyways. Look at me. My last name is Chayasirisobhon, champion of beauty. What do I need God for? I got my looks. Ego. People are going to like me and like what I say just because I look good from this side, I look good from this side, and God forbid this side. Okay? Ego. Pride gets in the way. And the other word that I threw up there was wavelength. What is wavelength? Did you know that physicists have determined that you think that you're solid matter, but we're actually waves? And this is the theory why people who love Star Trek, anybody here like Star Trek? All right, 3 people and myself. All right. Believe that we can teleport each other from one place to another because they can break us down in the waves and then put us somewhere else. Because we are like waves, right? We're like waves on the seashore, and the problem is that when everybody's not moving according to our waves tend to crash with each other. And when I talk about wavelength, I'm talking about perspective. Sometimes we just don't have the same perspective. Can I use you? Can you stand up? Thank you. All right. You see, me and her, we don't have the same wavelength. We don't have the same perspective. Why? You're shorter than I am. Okay, say the obvious. You're a tall Asian. Amazing, huh? They love it. I want you to know I'm the tallest person in the tie church. Ain't that right, Auntie? Yeah. All right. We already don't have the same perspective just because our height. We have to work to have the same perspective, right? She's a woman. I'm a man. Man, you talk about different wavelengths, right? But if we realize that, we realize in our minds that God created us that way, and yet created us as one. Woman was made to help man. People were made to help other people. We should be able to get on the same page. Thank you. We're supposed to be able to help each other. Be there for each other. And when we're on to have the same perspective, we have the same wavelength. And when waves combine, it's a surfer's dream. Because you get the biggest waves in the world. That guess what? Can crash through any wall. Look at the waves upon the mountain. This is the Christian wave that we need to form together. Last barrier we talk about is a barrier that's sometimes not even put up by yourself, but is put up by the enemy. It's what I call a spiritual barrier, right? And this one I get from Matthew chapter 7, 15 and 6. It says like this: watch out for false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are voracious wolves. You will recognize them by their fruit. Grapes are not gathered from thorns or figs from thistles, are they? You know, it used to be so simple to recognize these false prophets. You know why? We didn't have many forms of communication. We didn't have many voices that were speaking into your life. It was just some dude who'd come in looking pretty good. Might as well listen to him. But now, how many voices do you have speaking into your life? TV, radio. Now they can record everything, so heresies can get repeated over and over again. I'm on YouTube. I'm being telecasted right now. It's going to be recorded. You're going to be able to play it over and over again. And sometimes Satan sends these people into your life, these words into your life, these seeds into your life. They grow and become a barrier to your soul.